I got married to a psychopath in a cult because a prophet said that God was giving me to him, but that is not the only prophetic word that I got that year, so I think it's time that I tell you guys about the prophetic word that I got from Bob Hartley. Now, Bob Hartley is another prophetic person in these circles, so he would always come and travel to different churches and give these prophetic words. Now we know that he did do data mining just like Sean Bowles, which is basically where they look you up in advance and they see what they find online and they put it into the word. That way you think whatever they are saying is real. We know this because his son came forward and said that he saw his dad do this. So Jedediah had come forward and said, I saw my dad look people up in advance. He would have family members look people up in advance. And yeah, it was basically just this very big fraud. So I was interning at the ministry school in Pennsylvania at the time. So I am in class, we're at the ministry school, and he goes up on stage, and typically these prophets will just start calling people out, or they'll start calling out addresses, and they'll say, if this is you, stand up, and it's all very spiritual. So he ended up calling me out by name. He said Jubilee, and I remember I stood up, and I wish I still had this recording because I recorded it on my phone, but I lost my last phone, and maybe I'll find it someday. I know I didn't throw it away. It has to be somewhere. But basically, he called me out and he started to give me some very specific prophetic words. So Bob starts to tell me that he is hearing the gold place, and he's wanting to know, what does the gold place mean to me? And I had no idea what he was talking about. And I feel like it was really awkward, to be honest. He was like, I see the gold place. What does this mean? And I felt like a failure because I had no idea what he was talking about at the time. In hindsight, I have gone back and I think I know what he was talking about. I used to go to Gold's Gym and I used to post about it, and I think I might have even posted about how maybe I wanted to be a personal trainer at some point. So I think he was saying the gold place because he saw me post my key tag of Gold's Gym on my Instagram. He kind of moved on from there. He said that God was going to be building my spiritual muscles. So yeah, that makes sense with the Gold's Gym kind of thing. And then he gave me a date, which I think was in September, and he said, I'm hearing this date from God. What does it mean? I had no idea what he was talking about. So that was kind of another fail. Maybe it was something on my timeline and I just don't know what it was. So he kind of pivoted and said, well, it's going to mean something. This date will mean something in the future. Now, this is where the crazy evidence comes forward. So basically, Bob starts to prophesy about Greg Papovich. Now, if you are from San Antonio, you will know that Greg Papovich is the very loved coach of the Spurs. So I am from San Antonio, and I think that he went on my Facebook and saw that I was from San Antonio. So he starts to give this prophetic word about Greg Papovich and how he was going to be like a world changer. He was going to do like so much good for the kingdom of God, and that it was my responsibility, Jubilee's responsibility, to intercede for what Greg Papovich was going to do in the world, which interceding like basically is like praying very intently for Greg Papovich. And that was my prophetic word. It was all very odd. And I'm actually going to post a video about how I think he knew to pick me, where he got my name from, because I did get some information from Jedediah about how his dad got these names.